Like, share and subscribe for more great Cobra Kai content. Turn on notifications to never miss another Cobra Kai video again. Help get this video to 100 likes if you would like us to keep releasing more Cobra Kai videos like this one. Please share this video on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, Instagram and other social media platforms, to help new and old fans find these Cobra Kai videos. This fanspiration was written by Prisoner7. Remember to support the writers on social media. In this fanspiration, Miguel. May 29, 2020 Encino, California 4:35 p.m. For the summer that was coming in, Thiago Montes Diaz definitely was not prepared or ready for what was coming for him. Since arriving in California from Ecuador, the family had been close yet always separated wherever they were. Yaya and Aunt Carmen had always wanted to be independent, even when they could have stayed together for the sake of all of them. That wasn't an option, not for Aunt Carmen. Intelligent enough to find work as an X-ray technician, she soon found herself and her son, Miguel, a place in Reseda Heights with Yaya. Thiago's parents were like-minded in that regard too. Alison Montes and Lola Diaz found work themselves in downtown, a private plastic surgeon and hedge fund broker respectively. Moving from Ecuador through to Brazil and then to the States, was the best thing the Diaz family had ever done. Moving together as a unit became commonplace until they got to California, and for Miguel and Thiago to grow up like twins. For their oldest son, Alex, it allowed him the opportunity to open his business. Alison Montes, successful plastic surgeon. Lola Diaz, successful broker. Carmen Diaz, successful nurse. Alex Telles de Montes, successful mechanic. It was in that space of figuring out who he was that Thiago Montes Diaz woke up from his slumber. He'd been forced into homeschooling, well, teaching himself for the most part, for the past few months when he broke his left wrist working on some motorcycle parts for his brother. It threw him off, forced him to stop sparring Muay Thai, stopping him from going to black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, forced him to stop riding his motorcycle. In the matter of seconds, his life had changed dramatically for the worse. He groaned aloud, mumbling to himself before wiping the drool from his mouth as he picked himself up from his small bed in the corner, the morning heat pervading from the nearby window. The summer heat was edging in. His hand felt numb under the light final layers of the bandages tied around his wrist. Managing to clamber out of his bed, the young man stretched the sleep out of his muscles. He tussled with his hair, throwing his black hairband in to push his bushy black mane of hair back. Last 2 weeks of school was coming in, and he needed to be there. Summer school was definitely coming in his future, but Thiago would manage. The bandages felt tight, the doctors had said he could take them off whenever he felt. The healing under the plaster and sling was done. Letting out a yawn, he took his phone and slid it into his pocket. He moved to his window, seeing that both of his parents had already gone to work, alongside his brother. Being alone again, that was something he'd definitely gotten used to. He had definitely abused that privilege of being alone too. The phone vibrated, Thiago soon discovering that of all people it was Miguel calling him. "Morning, bro, what's up?" Thiago mumbled as he walked to the shower before turning it on. "Morning, T, you okay man? It's like, almost 5 in the afternoon, you been partying or something?" Thiago looked at his screen. There was a hidden tone of surprise, one that couldn't be sensed in Thiago's voice. "No, just. Bruh, I've been sleeping in, and I am definitely gonna need summer school to get into next grade." Miguel gasped. "Aw, that sucks man. Anyway, Aisha is organizing a party at the canyon tonight, you coming? Might as well have everyone remember you exist, right? Come on, you can meet my buddies from Cobra Kai. Come on, dude, it'll be sick if you come too. You'll fit right in." Yeah, maybe, look, I might come later on if I can." Thiago replied, wiping some of the steam that had condensed on the mirror. "I have to take care of some stuff at the shop, just some papers for Alex and then I'll be there." "I'll take that as a definite yes, then." Thiago sighed. "You can take it however you want. It's a maybe. See you later, Miggy. Hasta luego, hermano." Of course, Miguel had been busy since Thiago had been away. Private parties at the canyon, whilst they were nowhere near their style, somebody somewhere had decided that having an end-of-year bash was a good idea. Of course, if the weather was anything to go by, it definitely seemed to be a good idea anyway. Hot, breezy, a typical summer day that would get pretty cool by the evening time. It seemed ideal, something good to kick off the summer into fifth gear right from the start. Now that was something that Thiago definitely wouldn't argue with. Everything seemed to be coming together just at the right time for him. His hand was healed, and just needed a wash to stop looking as dirty and dead as it would when the young boy took off the bandages. He could finally ride and fight again. All he needed to do was figure out a way to balance everything together, so he wouldn't have to extend summer school for the entire summer. Take the exams early, he'd be fine, he kept telling himself. Thiago placed his phone to the side of the sink, taking a good look at himself in the mirror. He tried to scrape his long, greasy black locks into some sort of shape, but the attempt failed. He looked at his wrist and hand again. It was time to take them off, finally after 3 long months. Slowly unwrapping the faded white fabrics and untying them, his hand felt lighter and less constrained than it had done ever in the past season. The more he unraveled, the more of the pale, untanned skin was revealed. Gray, even looking somewhat mottled and dead to Thiago's own eyes. He unwrapped more and more, until the last of it was placed on the side next to his phone. His hands slowly rubbed against each other, the sense of his unbandaged hand still feeling somewhat numb against his normal hand. He turned the tap on once more, throwing both hands in as he tried to wash away some of the grime that had rubbed off from the bandages before finally washing his face. He proceeded in his daily ministrations with some soap, floss and toothpaste before he threw himself into the shower. The beatings of cold water droplets woke him up speedily, and as soon as he'd entered the water, he felt like he was already cleansed. Wrapping a towel around his waist, he allowed himself a minute to take some breathing exercises. Sitting on the nearby toilet, he allowed himself to sit in the accumulating steam. The ensuite connecting to his bedroom was a blessing, allowing him his privacy for more than a few minutes before he was interrupted. His hand had some color coming back to it, exposure to the hot water and the speed that his hand had been put back into use. He found a couple of baubles to replace the band, tying it tightly into a small bun, the remainders of his long hair outstretched from his neck. Sighing aloud, he finally dried himself off and got dressed. A pair of black joggers, socks and some Adidas Ultraboosts did well as he finally threw on a black vest and shirt, fitting tightly on his torso. Picking up his phone and keys, he took a quick walk around the house. Empty as he had expected. Great. Thiago muttered, finding a breakfast bar from the kitchen cupboards. Taking his bag and throwing it over his shoulder, he soon left the house, locking the door behind him. Living in Encino had its benefits, more so than living in Riverside or Reseda Heights. Nobody sketchy lived on the street corners, the homes were always large and somewhat homely, it was the people that made it different to the rest of LA. They were modest, semi-humble families that were successful, and Thiago's family were just like them. It still confounded him that Aunt Carmen, Miguel Yaya hadn't stayed with them, why they moved to Riverside and then to Reseda Heights at all. Thiago put it down to Aunt Carmen and his mother always striving to be independent of each other, they were too much like cat and dog. Not like her sons, not like their father. Alison Montez was dedicated to his job, but he made time for his kids, even as they grew older. Alex, Thiago and Miguel grew up together, brothers in all but blood, and even then, they might as well have been. He took one look at the sun, curling away at the sunspots in his eyes as he began the walk into the city. He'd get a bus into Reseda, and the nearest spot was down the hill anyway. Thiago placed his headphones in as he walked past the LaRusso house that was 4 doors down from his home. They were a proper family, the one that Thiago would have wanted for himself in the future, although that vision was not one that came to mind that often. Walking down as the sun beamed down with the soft summer wind, the youngest son began to message his cousin. Yo, send me the deets to the party at the Canyon bro, I am definitely coming X. Thiago quickly smacked the screen as he slid the phone back into his pocket, the message sent as the boy finally arrived at the bus stop, sitting down in the shade as he waited for his bus into LA. Perhaps the summer would herald a new start for the family. And that's it. Did you enjoy this story? Let us know what you think in the comments. Help get this video to 100 likes if you would like us to keep releasing more Cobra Kai videos like this one. Don't forget to subscribe, and turn on notifications to never miss another Cobra Kai video again. Please share this video on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, Instagram and other social media platforms, to help new and old fans find these Cobra Kai videos. And we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.